I went to a funeral last night. Nobody died. We just buried the version of me that everybody expected me to remain. Black suit, empty church, rain hitting stained glass. One coffin at the front, no photograph, no flowers, no name. I walked closer, wondering who we lost, and I saw my reflection in the polished wood and froze, because suddenly I understood this funeral was mine, but somehow I was still breathing. Nobody came to bury my body. We came to bury everything I could no longer carry. Survived my own funeral, watched them lower my old name into the ground. The fear, the shame, the version who begged to be chosen. I stood there in the rain, still breathing. I survived my own funeral. Turns out some parts of you have to end before the rest of you finally gets a chance to live. Inside that coffin, every apology I never owed, I'm fine, I said while breaking every room where I became smaller to make somebody else comfortable. Every dream I abandoned because somebody laughed. Every time I called rejection proof I wasn't enough. Every version of me built entirely from other people's opinions. Heavy coffin, no wonder I've been tired. I thought life was exhausting me. Turns out I was carrying versions of myself that should have been buried years ago. There was a letter on the coffin, my handwriting, I opened it. Dear old me, couldn't finish, my hand shook. How do you say goodbye to the person who kept you alive? He wasn't weak, that's important, he was scared. There's a difference, he learned to survive by becoming whatever the room needed. Quiet, funny, strong, invisible, useful, anything except himself. I didn't bury him because I hated him. I buried him because his job was finished. He protected me, people pleasing kept conflict away. Silence kept secrets safe, anger kept people distant. Perfectionism made rejection feel avoidable. Isolation made abandonment impossible. Every unhealthy habit at once solved a problem. That's why letting go felt like betrayal. But you can't keep using emergency exits as permanent entrances. What version of you survives something but isn't supposed to follow you into the rest of your life? The angry you, the unavailable you, the people-pleasing you, the version who trusts nobody, the version who needs everybody to approve. Maybe they saved you, respect them, but survival doesn't automatically earn permanent control. Survive my own funeral. Watch the old armor disappear underground. I'm not enough. Everybody leave. Don't try, you'll fail. Every lie they repeated until it sounded like my voice. I survived my own funeral. And then the dirt hit the coffin. I didn't hear death, I heard permission. Permission to change that's harder than it sounds. Because people remember you, they remember the version who always said yes, then get offended when you discover no. They remember the version who tolerated everything, then call you difficult when boundaries arrive. They remember your wounds, sometimes your healing makes them uncomfortable. Not because you're doing wrong, because the new you requires them to learn you again. Some people don't miss the old you, they miss the access your lack of boundaries gave them. The funeral ended, everybody left. I stayed, rain stopped, clouds open, just enough for sunlight to touch the wet grass. I stood above the grave, didn't feel powerful, didn't feel reborn. Honestly, I felt empty, 'cause letting go creates space. And space can feel terrifying before you decide what belongs there. I went home, looked in the mirror, same face that disappointed me. I expected transformation to look dramatic, new eyes, new posture, something, but growth doesn't always change your reflection. Sometimes the person looks identical and simply stops answering to the same lies. I stared at myself and asked, who are we now? No answer, good for once, I didn't need one immediately. Maybe becoming, is it replacing one prison with another identity? Maybe it's finally giving yourself room to find out So I stopped introducing myself to pain. Stop saying I'm the one who got betrayed. I'm the one who was abandoned. I'm the one who failed. Those things happen, they're real, but an event is in the name. Imagine introducing a book by only describing its worst chapter. That's what I've been doing to myself.
I went back to the cemetery. 1 week later, no rain,
no crowd.
I went back to the cemetery. 1 week later, no rain,
no crowd. Then came the weird part. People noticed. You've changed. Used to terrify me, now thank you. Because sometimes changing is the entire point. I don't want to be exactly who I was 5 years ago. Why would I? I paid too much for these lessons to leave them unopened. Growth should make old photographs feel like relatives. Familiar, loved, but different. Maybe you've changed isn't always an accusation. Maybe sometimes it's evidence that pain happened and didn't get the final word. Evidence that you finally stopped confusing consistency with refusing to grow. You are allowed to become someone your past wouldn't recognize. I started doing things old me would never do. Said no without a paragraph, rested without earning it, walked away without needing to be understood. Told people that hurt me, asked for help, celebrated myself without shrinking. The achievement let compliments land, simple things. But when you spent years disappearing, taking up your own space feels revolutionary. I spent years trying to be easy to love and accidentally became impossible for myself to recognize. So I came back slowly, music first, then laughter, then dreams, then opinions. That's funny, opinions. I used to ask everybody, what do you think? Before asking myself, restaurant, them clothes, them career, them life, them I'd outsourced my identity, then wondered why I felt like a stranger. Not anymore. I made choices people disliked, survived. Someone misunderstood me, survived. Someone called me selfish, survived. Someone left that hurt, still survived. Every time the world didn't end, my confidence got quieter, that's real confidence. Not everyone will approve, but I can survive when they don't. Confidence isn't believing nobody will reject you. It's knowing rejection doesn't get to rename you. One day I walked past the cemetery. Didn't stop, that mattered. Because healing isn't visiting the grave forever to prove you moved on. Eventually, you have somewhere else to be. Plans, people, work, dinner, a life. I realized I hadn't thought about the funeral all week. That's when I knew the burial worked. If you could bury one version of yourself tonight, which version would you finally let rest? The version who begs, the version who hides, the version who keeps returning to people who already showed who they are. The version who thinks one mistake ruined everything. Don't hate them, thank them, then decide whether they still need the job. I used to think rebirth meant becoming fearless. No, I still fear things, I just don't worship the fear anymore. Still doubt, still hurt, still occasionally hear the old voice. Difference, it no longer sounds like God. It's just an old recording, and old recordings can play without controlling the room. I survived my own funeral, not because I escaped death, because I finally stopped confusing and ending with my ending. A relationship ended, I remained. A dream ended, I remain. An identity ended, I remain. A version of my future collapse, I remain. Maybe that's what resilience is. Not keeping everything alive, knowing what deserved to end without burying yourself beside it. I survived my own funeral. Put the old fear in the ground, put the shame beside it. With the begging, the shrinking, the pretending, the need to be chosen by people I wouldn't choose anymore. My own funeral. And walked away with empty hands. For once, empty felt beautiful, because empty hands can build, empty hands can receive, empty hands can reach, empty hands can finally stop carrying dead things. And if you ask who died that day, I'll tell you nobody. I just finally buried everything that was stopping me from living. No resurrection scene, no lightning, no quiet just mourning, coffee, sunlight, another day. That's enough, because maybe the greatest rebirth isn't dramatic. Maybe it's waking up and realizing you don't want your old life back. People hear funeral and think death, but some funerals are endings. You desperately need the funeral of needing approval, the funeral of chasing someone who left, the funeral of believing your worst mistake is your identity, the funeral of making yourself smaller so insecure people can feel taller, the funeral of a dream that became a prison. And maybe you've been standing beside one of those coffins for years, refusing to let them lower it, because goodbye feels cruel. But listen, you can appreciate what something once meant and still admit it's over. You can love who you were.
I thought surviving my funeral was the hard part. It wasn't. The hard part was waking up the next morning with no old version of me left to blame. The morning after my own funeral, I woke up early, same ceiling, same scars, same face in the mirror. And for a second I almost laughed, because after all that burying, I expected to feel different, powerful, reborn, unrecognizable. Instead, I felt empty, and that's when it hit me. I buried who I was, but hadn't decided who I wanted to become. Freedom sounds beautiful until nobody hands you directions. The chains were gone. Now I had to choose where to walk.
I survived my own funeral.
Now I have to survive the life after it. No old excuses, no dead identity to hide behind, no past making every decision. I survived my own funeral. And maybe walking away from the grave wasn't the ending. Maybe that was the beginning. I made coffee, sat quietly, no emergency, no one to rescue, no argument to replay, no person to chase. The silence was uncomfortable. I spent years reacting, something happens, react, someone leaves, react, someone hurts me, react, something fails, react. But now, nothing. And for the first time I had to ask, what does my life look like when pain isn't choosing the schedule? I grabbed paper, wrote, what do I want? Stared at it for 10 minutes, nothing that's embarrassing, until you understand how easy it is to spend your whole life becoming what survival requires. I knew what everyone else wanted, what family expected, what people respected, what looked successful, what avoided criticism. But me, I had been absent from my own decisions for years. I escaped everybody else's expectations and realized I had never introduced myself to my own. So I started small. What music do I actually like? What clothes would I wear if nobody commented? Where would I live if nobody needed to understand? What dream would I chase if failure didn't embarrass me? What would I say if approval wasn't the reward? Those questions sound harmless, they weren't. Every answer was another shovel of dirt on the person I buried. Sometimes becoming yourself feels like disappointing everyone who benefited from you being somebody else. And disappointment came. You've changed. Yeah, that's what funerals are for. You don't call anymore, because every call used to cost me my peace. You think you're better than us? No, I finally think I'm worth protecting too. You used to be fun. I used to say yes to things that destroyed me. There's a difference, they called it attitude. I called it finally having boundaries without writing an apology underneath an apology.
I survived my own funeral.
And some people started mourning the old me, not because they loved him, because he was convenient. He didn't complain, didn't say no, didn't walk away, didn't demand respect.
I survived my own funeral.
And learn a painful truth. Some people will call you healing a personality problem when your wounds used to benefit them. That hurt, because I wanted everybody to celebrate. Thought healing would make me more lovable. Sometimes it does, sometimes healing makes you incompatible with people who only understood your dysfunction. That's lonely, but loneliness with dignity feels different from company that requires self-betrayal. I had tried both, I knew which one cost more. Here's something nobody tells you about becoming a different person. You may have to grieve relationships that only work because you were unhealthy enough to tolerate them. Read that again. Some friendships won't survive boundaries. Some relationships won't survive confidence. Some environments won't survive your self-respect. That doesn't automatically make you better. It means the agreement changed. of people left, not everyone that's important. The right people adjusted, asked questions, learned, respected, and you know, didn't treat boundaries like betrayal. That's when I learned healthy relationships don't require you to remain wounded for continuity. They make room for your revolution. The people who truly love you don't need you frozen in the version of yourself they first met. And something happened, I failed, big perfect timing, because I just started believing I was becoming someone new. Then boom, wrong decision, lost opportunity, embarrassment. Old voice came running from the cemetery. See, you haven't changed, you're still him. You'll always be him. For one night, I believed it. Failure doesn't resurrect a dead identity. One bad day doesn't erase a year of growth. One relapse into an old thought doesn't mean you live there again. I had confused healing with never struggling. Wrong. Healing means when the old road appears, you recognize it sooner. Maybe you walk a few steps, then turn around, that's still progress. Growth isn't never becoming your old self again. Growth is noticing sooner when you're starting to. So I drove home, didn't enter the cemetery that mattered. Next morning I fixed what I could, apologize where necessary, learn, tried again. No funeral, no self-hatred, no dramatic declaration that everything was ruined, just responsibility. That's when I realized old me needed shame to change. New me could use wisdom. I survived my own funeral, even when the old voice called my name, even when failure looked like resurrection, even when I missed the certainty of believing I was doomed. I survived my own funeral, because the grave was never about never struggling again. It was about never worshiping the struggle as my Months passed, life got bigger, not easier, bigger. New dreams created new fears, new love created new vulnerability, new opportunities created new ways to fail. That's when I understood a small life can feel safe because there's less to lose. But I didn't survive everything I survived just to spend the rest of my life avoiding risk. I wanted something worth being afraid for. So I tried, applied, called, asked, showed up, got rejected, tried again. Some doors open, some slammed. Difference, I stopped interpreting every closed door as a verdict on my existence. Maybe wrong timing, wrong fit, wrong room. Sometimes a no is just a no, not a prophecy. Not everything needs to become a wound. Rejection can hurt without becoming your identity. Failure can teach without becoming your name. Then love came, not dramatic, quiet, steady, that scared me. Old me would've tested it, created distance, started fight, search for hidden motives. New me, still scared but honest. I said, this feels good, and sometimes good things scare me. They said I know, then stayed. No speech, no rescue, just presence. Maybe healing isn't becoming someone who never gets scared. Maybe it's becoming someone who doesn't hand fear. The steering wheel fear can ride, let it talk, let it complain, but it doesn't drive. That's different, because courage was never the absence of fear. Courage was, I'm afraid and we're still going. I started living like that, afraid, go. Nervous, speak, unsure, learn and embarrassed, try anyway. Heartbroken, feel it, rejected, recover, tired, rest. But stop turning every emotion into instructions. Feelings are information, not commandments. That lesson changed my life. 1 year later, I returned to the cemetery. This time on purpose, sunshine. No rain brought flowers, not because I wanted him back. It's gratitude deserved a visit. Found a grave, grass had grown. Headstone looked smaller than I remember. Funny how things lose size when they stop living inside you. Some graves don't get smaller, you just become bigger than what they represent. I sat down, said, you be proud. Fell swooping, talking to myself, kept going. We say no now, we ask for help. We failed again, didn't destroy ourselves. We love somebody, but still scares us. We're building things, some worked, some didn't. And remember how you thought nobody would understand. I smiled, some people do. If the version of you from your hardest year could see you today, what would surprise the most? That you stayed, that you left, that you forgave, that you started again, that you're still here.
Maybe progress isn't always what you've accomplished. Sometimes it's what no longer controls you. Before leaving, I touched the headstone. No sadness, just respect, because that version of me wasn't my enemy. He was unfinished, that's different. We spent too much time hating old versions for not knowing what only time could teach them. He didn't fail me, he got me to the lesson, then handed me the pen. Don't hate the person you were for not knowing what it took becoming you to learn. I walked toward the gate, stop, looks back, not because I wanted to return, because this time looking back didn't pull me backward. That's when I knew the grave had become history, not home. The past had become information, not instruction. The old me had become memory, not identity.
I survived my